Chapter 12. The Area 2 Fleet. 2 years had passed since Operation Woodpecker. In accordance with Vice Emperor Dubious's policy, Area 2 had shrunk to an extremely cramped range centered around the Seskar portal. The sole star system under its control was the Seskar Viscountdom, and it was surrounded entirely by Hania's sphere of influence. Though the Federation occupied the surrounding territory nations and domains previously belonging to the Empire, they refrained from attacking Seskar. It was thought that the Four Nations Alliance was being cautious because in exchange for the reduction in Area 2's size, its defensive capabilities rose by leaps and bounds. But Duyur knew there was a different reason. His title was now Glaherer Byrer Biborer, Picket Fleet Commander-in-Chief, cum Vice Emperor Special Envoy. The Vice Emperor Special Envoy title clung to Duyur like a curse now that they had temporarily abandoned all of the territory nations. The Glagak Byrer Biborer, Picket Fleet flagship, was the patrol ship Hauka, aboard which Duyur was heading for Sodek Dan Mata Brasser, Bras Portal 772. The ship was accompanied solely by 2 other patrol ships. In planar space, Koek Mata Freibearer, Empire Area 2, enjoyed effective rule over the portals near the Seskar portal. Military outposts had been placed near 7 of those portals, and maintaining those outposts was another of the Byrer Biborer, Picket Fleet's important duties. But where Duyur was going, there wasn't even an outpost. Bras Portal 772 wasn't truly ruled by the Empire, it was more so that it belonged to none of the great powers. And that was, of course, because Bras Portal 772 had next to no utility. But it did become useful to both the Empire and the Federation for a very short while. "We've passed through Bras Portal 772, reported the navigation staff officer on the Hauko's commander's bridge. The closest star to Bras Portal 772 was a white dwarf 14.7 light-years away. Save for the phosphorescent light provided by the portal itself, it was safe to call this perpetual darkness. A point of light shone in the pitch dark. Craft identified. It's the Minmindia, reported the exploration staff officer. Duyur nodded and addressed the woman sitting next to him. It seems your ride has arrived. Understood. I have naught but gratitude toward the Empire's good faith reception and hospitality, but I do miss seeing my family's faces, so I am rather glad. Her name was Eugenia, and she was a secret Hanian parlementaire. The Empire and the Federation were currently at war, and there were no diplomatic relations between them, yet the parlementaire was accepted under the veil of absolute secrecy. Only a select few among the Empire and the Federation were privy. Not even Hania's allies knew. Or rather, the fact they were surreptitiously building new relations was something they had to hide from the other nations. It was said that when the Area 2 fleet first accepted a parlementaire, it was in the middle of the Battle of the Lebuhunu Urubur, the Urubek Marquisate, which happened before Operation Woodpecker was launched. At the time, Duyur hadn't known. He'd only been told about the parlementaire's existence a month after Operation Woodpecker ended. Since then, there was always a secret Hanian parlementaire at Area 2's central hub, though not without changes in who served the role. Yu was the 4th. Of course, as far as Duyur knew, there could be more parlementaires that he was kept out of the loop on. The parlementaires could not get in touch with their nation. They could but carry out the mission they were given when they were dispatched. And thus far, their main mission was to report what the procedure for rotating to the next parlementaire was. For indeed, one of the reasons that the fact of the Empire having covert contact with the Federation's core hadn't been made public was that the results had been poor. The new parlementaire that would be replacing you was aboard the Minmindia. Incidentally, Minmindia was a code name. He didn't know what its actual name was. By that same token, the patrol ship Hauka was known by the other side as the Guhul. The 2 ships whose true names were unknown to one another drew alongside each other. Duyur took his staff officers to the boarding doors. Needless to say, Yu, who was stepping down, was with them too. The doors opened, and the new parlementaire appeared before them. He was carrying a small white flag in hand, and he was in Hanian military uniform, though something about him gave Duyur the impression he wasn't used to wearing those clothes. The man came before Duyur and saluted. I am Colonel Ulmreek, here to represent the Hania Federal Military. I welcome you on behalf of the humankind Empire of Ov. I am Avrielsek ne Dubersker Duher, Viscount of Wemdise and Vice Emperor's Special Envoy. Ulm's eyes went wide. If I'm not mistaken, Fee de Heer, Your Highness Duyur, is Fee Siljager, Your Highness the Crown Prince. It is truly a tremendous honor. Maybe this is Hanian-style banter, thought Duyur, but he decided to react to this remark earnestly and correct him. The Vice Emperor Dubious is indeed my father, but he is not our emperor. Nor have I been designated as a successor. As such, I am forced to inform you that that statement is in error. Nevertheless, I'm honored by that remark, however erroneous it may be. My apologies, smiled Ulm. Duyur concluded from that smile that it had been in jest after all, and he inwardly heaved a sigh. You stepped forward and exchanged words of greeting with Ulm, along with some more tangible objects. Must be some sort of memchip. But Duyur pretended not to have seen. Before long, they were done conversing. Now then, Fee, said Yu, who saluted Duyur's way, I thank the Empire for the warm hospitality I received. Unfortunately, given my position, I can't wish for eternal prosperity for your nation, but at the very least, I can and will pray for the health and safety of all of you. Thank you very much. Duyur saluted back. I hope you become able to enter a quiet and secluded life of leisure surrounded by the people you love, and sooner rather than later. If the Federation should be unable to pay my pension, will the Empire look after me and my family? She let out a chuckle and stopped saluting. Now then, everyone, it is reluctantly I part with you, but part one must. And so Duyur watched as you exited through the boarding doors alongside her automated luggage. Then he addressed Ulm, this way, please. We have prepared a welcome feast for you. Forgive us, for the banquet is a modest one. Oh no, sir, from what my predecessor tells me, there's nothing modest about it, replied Ulm cheerfully. I've been looking forward to it. Nonetheless, I take it you will hurry back even in the middle of the feast. This ticked Duyur off. Getting their route dictated by a person from an enemy nation was unwarranted. But Duyur was mature enough not to let his annoyance show. His reply was intentionally off point. Please rest assured we will escort you safely to see the Vice Emperor. I stand very much obliged by your thoughtfulness, but making the utmost haste would be advisable. Oh? Has something come up? The smile never left Ulm's face as he whispered into Duyur's ear, Your sister's fleet has begun invading the People's Sovereign Stellar Union. I wish to have an audience with His Highness the Vice Emperor and return to my post along with your nation's parlementaire as soon as possible.